accept that that's what God did. But that was promised to Adam, that one would come, the seed of the woman, who would come, we know that to be Jesus Christ, who would be the one to take care of the sin problem. How is the seed of the woman going to take care of the sin problem? Oh, I'm glad you asked, because it's right here in the text. It says, he, meaning Jesus, the seed of the woman, will crush the serpent's head. Okay, so the serpent is also a reference to Satan, because Satan used the serpent to deceive Eve and so forth. So the serpent is used in scripture to represent Satan. All right, so it says he, the seed of the woman, we know to be Jesus, will crush the serpent's head. However, the serpent, Satan, will bruise his heel. All right, so this is speaking of his death by crucifixion. How is this crucifixion? Very simply, because when individuals were crucified and they were placed on the cross, they would always have their legs bent. And the reason for the legs being bent is because when the arms were outstretched, the lungs would sag and they would suffocate very quickly. And because they wanted them to prolong the suffering, because sometimes they would be on the cross for days, literally for days. So they would be able to then push up with the legs, get a breath. When the arms get tired, they would sag again. So there would be this constant up and down motion as they're trying to breathe. Well, the legs would be placed against the vertical bar of the cross. So every time they push up to get a breath, sag. Get a breath, sag. What's happening? The heel is being bruised. I mean, how amazing is this verse? How amazing is this verse? So it speaks of the two unique aspects of Jesus Christ. His virgin birth, no one else can fit that category, and his death by crucifixion for the sin of the world. So, by his very death, he now crushes the head of Satan, the serpent. Let me say it this way. Can you live with a bruised heel? If somebody came now and, scruffle your heel, you can live, right? Because Jesus, even though his heel was bruised, crucified, he died, but guess what? 3 days later, he rose from the dead. Okay, and he's still alive. He's alive today. But can you live with a crushed head? No. Impossible. There is no way. If your head is crushed, there's no way you can live. So by his death, he crushed the head of Satan. In other words, Jesus Christ defeated death by his death. Because he died for our sin, but 3 days later, he conquered death and rose from the dead. And his promise is, because I live, if you believe in me, you don't have to fear death, because just like I have the power to rise from the dead, I will likewise raise you from the dead if you put your faith, trust, and confidence in me. So he defeated death. By his death, the punishment for sin, which is our death, he defeated death for us, so that if we accept him, we will never die. You remember that's what he said at the tomb of Lazarus? I am the resurrection and the life. Whosoever believes in me, though he were dead physically, yet shall he live spiritually. And whosoever lives, is alive physically, and believes in me will never die spiritually. So by his death, he defeated death. He crushed the serpent's head, defeated sin, death, hell, and the grave by his death.